everybody got their mics on? Okay. So this is the city commission meeting, Thursday, October the 8th at 6 o'clock. You will stand for the invocation, which will be given by Commissioner Arias, and I will lead the pledge of allegiance.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gift of family and friends and love. We ask that you be with us this evening as we do the work of the city of Tucumcari. We ask that you prepare our hearts as we prepare to do the good work of your will. For the sake of his sorrowful passion, have mercy on us and on the whole world. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Okay. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance. Gentlemen, would you remove your hats, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Rochelle, could you bring me the list? Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is public comments.
I'm sorry,
Mayor.
roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, roll call. Well, yeah, you do good stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, roll call, please.
Commissioner Gamera.
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Here.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Here.
Commissioner Moya.
Here.
Okay, now are there any considerations of changes or deletions to the agenda? Okay, I would entertain a motion to accept the agenda as is.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as is.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
Commissioner Gamera.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is public comments. Citizens wanting to speak during this time must sign up prior to the start of the meeting. It's an opportunity for citizens to comment on non-agenda items. This is not for discussion or question and answer. Citizens will be given 3 minutes to speak. And if you are joining us by tablet, please join from your computer or smartphone. All right, so first on the agenda is Karen Alcarn.
Never heard of her.
Well, you're on here twice.
Yes.
Okay. This one is Connie and Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy didn't make it, I guess.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. We're really excited about a program that we kind of fell into, a NEON project that, and I'm going to tell you, my husband is, and I can't believe that he started this donation thing for this NEON, and it just spawned from there. And now we've got Main Street and Tucumcari Talking Tour and everybody just really excited about it. And I just wanted to pass on the enthusiasm that we have for it. This NEON was the Travel-Tel,
which is now Doggy Door Grooming on Main
Oh,
Street.
Canine.
Yes. Oh,
Canine
K9.
Canine Design Motel. This NEON came from, and it's over 10 feet tall. Mike Fulton, that owned the Route 66 Motel, moved away to Maryland, and he took this NEON with him, and it was on eBay. So I talked him out of pulling it off of eBay, and he went down on his price, and we've got
We've got a little over $1,200 in donations from the website. Out of town donations actually total up a lot more than resident Tucumcari donations, which I think it's encouraging to me. That means we have a lot of people who care about Tucumcari and who care about what's happening here, and they want to see us doing projects like this and preserving our history along Route 66 and with the NEON. We do have $1,000 donation that has, or excuse me, pledge that has been given to us from a person in Albuquerque. So we're very, very close to the purchase price, having the funding for the purchase price, and then we'll pursue
And what is
the restoration. $2,500.
that's not counting shipping.
That's just the purchase
and
price.
restoring it, getting it repaired, which Johnny Meyer has been very big with helping on this, and he has a NEON person and repair person in Albuquerque that he would personally oversee this project. for us. That way we won't have to be, you know, going to Albuquerque or getting pictures. I mean, Johnny's the man for Route 66. We're hoping to tie our whole community together. Route 66, Main Street, the whole town needs to come together, and we can make some good things happening with this. With everything else that y'all are talking about with the promotions, there's only good things that can go forward with this in our town.
Yeah, no, that sums it up. That's great.
Okay, thank you.
Very excited about it.
Yeah, we're very excited.
And
And you can donate to the website at
JimCarreyTalkingTour.com.
Yeah, JimCarreyTalkingTour.com.
/donate.
I don't talk for a living, do I? Ooh, tongue tied. Anyway, we're excited, so thank you for listening. And then I'm coming up again, so I don't know.
Just wait right there, you're next.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
All right, so next is Karen Alcorn.
good evening.
Something else?
Yes, I did. No. I have another subject here. My husband and I got married in 1981. And when we got married, we received a welcome package from the city. We received a big, huge Bible with businesses that were donated from. We received coupons from businesses. We received little samples from the businesses in town. It was a welcome. We don't have a welcome wagon in this town. We have a lot of people that have moved here, that I have observed moving here, that have not been personally welcomed, that I feel, just my opinion, in the way the city should smile and say, thank you for coming. We appreciate you moving here. I think we need to be a city that is friendly and known for our friendliness. And let the people know that we really care about them. We know we do, but they need to know that we do. And tourists need to come in and they need to see what a friendly town we are, instead of what negative people that are going out and talking. So if anybody has a business, please talk to your employees. If they're out at Cornerstone Deli, to talk nice about right? If you have people eating in your restaurant, you've got tourists in there, we don't want somebody overhearing. I think Commissioner Duplantis has talked about this before, maybe I'm wrong, but you know, what's there to do in this town? Oh, nothing. You know, we don't want that. We want positive. In order for all this neon and all this videoing going on, we want to be a friendly town. So that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you. All right, next is Melissa Pilley. We're recording.
I'm not gonna talk today. I'm just gonna listen.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda, and that's approved by a single motion. Any member of the commission may request an item be transferred to the regular agenda from the consent agenda without a discussion or vote. And the things on the consent agenda tonight are approval of the September 24th work session notes, the work session meeting, and the commission meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda for September 24th work session and September 24th commission meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Could you pass this down, please? Thank you. Next on the agenda is ordinances and resolutions. Resolution 2020-35, which is a budget adjustment request for fiscal year 21 for August adjustments and health, excuse me. You're not in health, I'm sorry,
I'm not in
Rochelle.
health.
You'll be, Rochelle Arias will be presenting this.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Commissioners. Before I begin, I wanted to ask Commissioner Moya, was it your birthday?
Yeah.
Well, happy
Today?
late birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
I'm not on Facebook very often, but I happened to get it and I saw that he had a party, so.
Oh, down there?
Okay, so this is, my budget adjustments for August. It's favorable, $129,937. The majority of this is, it's $138,952. That was a reimbursement that we received on the airport grant where we spent the money last fiscal year and we got the reimbursement now. So that now takes our, budget when we started with everything that we've already adjusted on the budget, sorry. We were in a deficit $631,945. With everything, we are now in a deficit of $80,212. But again, this is not general fund. This is adjustments that have been in other departments that benefit those departments, not general fund. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I would request your approval for my bar.
Commissioner Arias, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem,
I have nothing.
Commissioner
Moya.
Moya, do you have any questions?
No, this, what fund are we talking about was reimbursed to?
The one for this current budget adjustment, it was for the airport. So in Fund 03031. It's on one of the, I don't know if it was a taxiway or the airport. Let me see, I can tell you.
Probably with the
Yes, it really was.
taxes.
Yeah, that's it. And then it's done, right?
I think so.
It looks like.
I don't know if it's done.
No, it just says this one, yeah, okay. No, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Villanueva, do you have any questions?
No.
I would entertain a motion to approve resolution 2020-35.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2020-35.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes. Next on the agenda is resolution 2020-36. It's a resolution to remove fixed asset from the inventory.
On this resolution, it's not really, I'm not really removing it, but I am because it was a duplicate that was put in an error. And so I have to have your permission to take off that duplicate for the auditors.
Okay. Any questions from the,
What assets are we looking at?
It was the Microsoft Surfaces that were purchased. They got entered twice by mistake.
Oh, okay. Oh, here.
on that back page? Do I have a motion to entertain a motion to pass resolution 2020-36?
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2020-36.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is request for funds for bans of enchantment from the Executive Lodgers Tax Board, and we discussed this during our work session. Does anyone have any further questions or comments or?
I have one further comment. I do want to thank Mr. Chavez for his time and his proposal. I do think that this would be something that would be great for Tucumcari. As I am optimistic, I do believe that we do have to be cautious as well. So I know that he's asking for funding for 8 episodes. I would like to make the recommendation of the motion that we approve that we approve the funding for 4 episodes at the $15,000 per episode, with the rest to come after we've reviewed the episodes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis, do you have anything to say since you're on the Lodgers Tax?
I'm even more cautious. I would rather stick with going after the pilot and adjust after that. During these times, I think once the pilot gets out, we have a chance of bringing in more sponsors. I would hate for us to overdo our executive funds going into this, still uncertain what's gonna happen going through COVID. I'm all for getting this thing going. Mr. Chavez has got a great presentation. But I think committing, $60,000.
Is it 60?
Well, it's 15 per episode.
Per episode, yeah. So that come out to 60.
Yeah, for 4 of them.
If we did 4.
4.
Well, and the reason I came up with what I thought of 4 is just because there's gonna be a lot of work.
It's gonna be-
There's gonna be a lot of legwork. He's gonna need some form of further commitment than 1 episode. I would feel.
Well, you know, if you look, I kind of agree with both of them, the commissioners here, but at the same time, I'm also looking at how to get our little, small economy here in Tucumcari jumpstart. And if this were to help, it'll be great because it'll bring more revenue in, at the same time. It sounds like a great way of being able to get the word out since we're so limited now with the coronavirus, and this will be able to get it going, hopefully, especially because it's a music type of, it's kind of like, what is it? City Austin, what was that?
Yeah,
Austin City.
Austin city limits. And if that gets taken up, it'd be great for us, especially with the music in the area, and also hopefully to capture what we have always tried to promote and sell. 60,000 is a lot. I agree with Commissioner Duplantis, but at the same time, we going to have to do something to get our economy started at the local level, jump started. And if we're taking it out of the what we call the executive area, how much do we still have in that area? And yet, how much are we've got quite a good budget. We've got 300 and some. Don't we?
So we do, with that budget, we have to take into account there are a few things that we're already planning on obligating. That's something I was gonna bring up tonight. I guess now's the best time, better than ever. We do have the other item on the agenda with Fast TV, which that's a great opportunity as well. That's 3,000. We're still looking at trying to allocate further funds from the executive side to renovate the convention center.
Yeah.
That's something we need to do as well. Now with COVID, since they're closed, it gives us a chance to go and do some renovations without disrupting any calendar. The other thing that we're looking at is the potential of hiring someone for social media, a marketing firm or an individual to do marketing for the city of Tucumcari. We do have the branding committee that has been working on establishing a unified brand for Tucumcari as a whole. So with that, I'd like to pick up, once we have that branding and everything, all the assets in our hand, move forward and have somebody capitalize on that and really put Tucumcari's name out there. So I think this is a great idea. The one thing I would recommend is that we have some safeties in place. We want to make sure that if we are obligating this type of funding, any type of funding, that we have it contractually with Mr. Chavez to make sure Tucumcari is the home of this TV series. Because if we're going to front most of that bill, then we want to make sure that our name's out there.
Of course. And then we also invest in something that's a project, to be honest, I mean, a pilot. Well, let me ask Mr. Chavez, what kind of, how low of a contribution would you, I know 15 is what you were asking, I know you said 25 was actually the cost, and then 15. What area would you see that maybe you could
Go to the
manage?
mic.
Go back to the mic, sorry. I couldn't hear either.
I know.
I'm sorry, your question?
The question is, you're asking for 15,000, right? And the Commissioner Arias is, made a motion. The question I have, and the Commissioner Duplantis said that we have other projects from the executive side where you're taking it on. And my question is, how far low can you go that we can help you without hurting the project, is the question.
You know, we originally budgeted 26,675 is what it came out to. And we've already cut it back to 15. You know, we're mostly gonna be putting more into the entertainers. So that's gonna reduce the level of quality of entertainment that we have. And I think that's probably the most important thing is the level of entertainment, because it's gonna reflect no matter what we do in the show also. That's where it's at, is the entertainment. Solid, good entertainment's gonna have to do that. And right off the bat, if we contract even Ryan Bingham, for example, if he says, yes, I want to do that, but it's going to cost me $5,000. Well, there's 5,000 right there, right out the door before we even do anything else.
So really 15 is about as low as you can go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you another question. Let's say, for example, we're looking at 4 episodes, which Commissioner Duplantis said 60,000. The question that I have is, 60,000.
And that's
That's the minimum. That's
Yeah, that's the
what we would be putting in. That's not the cost of the show.
That's not the cost of the show, and then
Mark.
we're still gonna do we're gonna start doing advertising and marketing right away. Good, we need to create that buzz right off the bat.
Mr. Chavez, and I have no problem if the commission, with the motion on the floor, I have no problem going along with that. And we discussed this in the work session, that sometimes the show could be done in other places because we gotta take it to where the entertainers are. So I'm just gonna throw out, let's say Lovington, New Mexico. You're gonna go out there for one of the entertainers out there. That show being $15,000 on our part, would we be able to get some compensation from Lovington? Because I'm sure they'll get some advertisement that the show's being
They would
done.
get advertising, yeah, we could compensate
So, like,
back,
they put in 10 grand for that show,
yes.
you know, or I'm just throwing out a number. I'm not saying that's what we should go to, but if the show's gonna be done in these other towns, I don't mind obligating that 60, or, I don't even know if that's the
15.
right word. Saying, okay, you know, we'll make sure there's 60,000.
Sharing the cost.
Sharing, as long as these other communities share that cost with us, if we go to those locations. Or
Yes.
You do, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're the one doing most of the work. But, I have no problem with that if I can be assured that, if we're gonna share this with these other communities, that the communities help with this fund.
With the expense.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're still getting some PR, and we're the ones who really are doing our investment and believing in this gentleman and his project that's gonna be successful. And
And I would like to find a way where we have whole 8 shows. I know that's not feasible for us
And we
to
have-
commit, but I do like this. I've seen it work, and, with the next topic we have, I've seen it work with us, as well as, Austin City Limits and, you know, little shows like this, you know, that all of a sudden, you know, they're a lot bigger than what they are. But I would just, you know, in order to commit something like that, I would like to be assured that if it does go to another location,
Oh,
for
definitely.
obvious reasons, that community helps with something.
It would, we would apply it, we would do,
so for the 4 sessions, 4 shots would be in, Tucumcari.
yeah.
Mayor, if I may add,
Yeah.
the other thing I look at, if it's something the cities want to pursue further in the future, if everything's going really well, and we're potentially looking at expanding for the additional 4 episodes on top of that, that's what y'all decide tonight. I would again like to, if you could, Mr. Chavez, we're incorporating the logo that Tucumcari is on, that way it's clearly out there, but we are still able to share the cost for some side shots and whatnot and small concerts, but know that this is the home since we are the main
Right.
contributor. The other thing, as it begins to get successful in the future, I would think that hopefully we'd be able to decrease that cost where you're getting more on advertising, more interest. Hopefully we could decrease some of the costs for the city in the future. Maybe instead of 15,000, so we're looking at maybe 5 to 10. It's just depends on success.
Depends on the success and even there too, you know, we talked about maybe giving back to the city as a donation to the chamber, to the convention center or something like that. Giving back to the people who got us going again. That's what we want to do.
And you had indicated before too, that once it gets rolling, you wouldn't be needing,
This will be an initial investment.
this is our investment.
Right.
And then after that, you wouldn't be needing us if you're successful.
Yeah, and I do, you know, my 4 episode proposal here, I mean, I don't want that to indicate any trust issues here. I do believe in you, and I do believe in your goal here. And I would recommend that we don't go in head first, but we do go in waist first.
Well, we always have to take a chance, and I think, this is.
And would you do the 4 episodes with a contingency of the additional 4?
Of course,
Yes.
of course.
So we get that first option to buy.
Yeah. The first, we want to stay here though, this is where we want to be.
Well, this is where we want you to be.
Right,
Thank
is there any more, you wanna go ahead?
I was gonna say, with the first motion and with the understanding that, if we go to other communities that they're to help to incur some of this cost, I'll second the motion.
If I may, Mayor, real
Yes.
quick. With that being stated, I would highly recommend that you allocate and obligate the funds for this project. But I would strongly encourage that we get something contractually that we have.
Of course,
Yes.
So contingent that,
On a contract.
on a contract.
Okay, all right, so we've got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
So just for clarification, the motion is for 4 episodes at $15,000 per episode, correct?
Yes.
Contingent on an agreement or a contract. And then,
First option.
first option for the other 4.
And that other communities that, if this show shows in other communities that
They don't
You
think.
can
don't
jump
incur
Share
this
the
cost.
expense.
Share cost.
You wanna read it back?
4 episodes at $15,000 per episode, first option, for the additional 4, and share the cost with any other community that would be, sponsoring an event. Right?
Okay, is everybody happy with that?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's been moved and seconded, and that's the motion, and so roll call, please.
Okay, Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes, because I feel this is a very good worthwhile investment. Okay, for our town.
Next on the agenda is requests for, excuse me, for funds for Fast TV from the executive lodgers tax.
Yes, ma'am. So, a lot like the previous agenda item, both of these items were, taken before the lodgers tax, just so you know, that they were both recommended, to pass and approve, for the 15,000 episode, as well as this proposal is for $3,000 through Fast TV. As Connie stated in the work session, this is some great publicity to get our name out there. Previously, I think we're up, did you say 3 million views on a previous episode?
Yes, on the ones from October of last year, we're up to over 3 million, and the most current episode was over 1 million within 24 hours.
So that's really getting our name out there. It's a great opportunity. This is at $3,000 for that one episode. It will be a short documentary type episode specific to historic preservation, Tucumcari heritage.
Tucumcari heritage.
So this is something that I think would be great for us as well. So I definitely, based on the lodgers tax recommendation to pass as well as mine, I would kindly recommend that you approve this.
With all these TV shows, I wish I was born prettier.
Is there any more discussion?
I would like to, iterate that, $3,000 is not what it's gonna cost to put on the show. They're asking for $3,000, and that's just to incur their expenses, food, lodging and stuff. This show actually is, gonna cost Fast TV Network over 20 grand, and they're donating, basically, I say donate, they're gonna do that on their own. They're just asking for $3,000 to help incur some expenses of them being down here and going around and doing this documentary. I think it's important that the citizens know that, because it shows that somebody's got faith in Tucumcari and they want to help build us. So I just wanted to make sure that that was out there, you know.
Great things happening. Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 3,000 for Fast TV from the executive lodgers tax fund.
And I'll go ahead and second it.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the city manager's report.
This one. One second, I'll write all that down. So, it's been busy 2 weeks. So you can see there's a lot that's been going on. And I think the perfect segue into that is, we again had another branding meeting. I think it was very successful. We were able to have a mood board at this last meeting, as well as retouch some of the brand essence statement. And I'm encouraged to see that progress. It's just the beginning stages now, but we're hoping to have everything complete, hopefully by the end of the calendar year. So that's encouraging. Another thing that fits in with marketing and trying to bring people to Tucumcari, I had the pleasure, as well as Connie from Main Street, to go around town Friday and Saturday last week with the New Mexico Tourism Department. They were out taking photos and videos of the area. We were able to really emphasize on some of the places that were overlooked the last time we had some photographers in town. The last time that was at our expense. This time, thankfully, all this was free thanks to the tourism department. So it was encouraging to get out, like I said, to all the museums in town. Again, emphasizing on those locations that were overlooked last time. We're able to get out and really try to sell some of our assets with our museums with Route 66. So that was exciting. I'm looking forward to receiving those assets once they've been edited and see exactly what we have to work with.
We can utilize those for our own use, correct?
Correct. There's no copyright. Tourism is allowed to use them as they wish in their marketing plans, and we are as well. And we're able to share that with those individual entities, with the Historic Museum, with Main Street, with anybody we choose to do so. So that's really nice to have those assets. Another thing that we worked on heavily within the past few weeks with the county, Main Street, and others involved is the CARES Act funding for small businesses. We have now launched that that application process. It is available to be picked up either here at City Hall or at the county. So we encourage all those small businesses to please look into that. If you have any requests or would like any information, please feel free to reach out to the county or to me here at City Hall. And we will be getting that out online on our website shortly. That way everybody can try to fill it out through a PDF fillable form as well. And right now the cap is going to be $10,000 for each small business, and it ranges on which you can ask for reimbursement. It runs from March through October 1st as a cutoff date. It is a reimbursement process, so you do need to have the invoices and the clear check to show that it's been paid. You could use it for utilities. Some of it could go towards payroll that is not including the owner of the small business. So yeah, for more information, please reach out and pick up an application. We want to give back to these small businesses. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Sounds like a busy week, couple weeks. So next is items from commissioners. Commissioner Bill Levin, do you have anything you want to say tonight?
Yes, I just want to say thanks, Mr. Jones, for coming down. Connie, for doing a good job, and Mr. Patel. I just got a few questions. How about the pothole machine? Is it still going?
Yes, sir. We're still actively repairing potholes. One thing that I failed to mention is we had some concern about a large hole at Wells Park, and that has been taken care of.
Good.
My
Thank
thought
you.
of us, I'm not sure.
They were out working by my house today, so they're out and working a couple blocks down.
Why you're please?
Well, a couple blocks down.
They had, I was out, I can't remember if it was this morning or sometime this week, but they were out there repairing potholes.
Okay, I got another question for you, like, Payless, what are they gonna do about the Payless? It's getting pretty nasty out there with trash.
I'm not sure. I'm curious myself. I'm gonna have to do some background work into looking. There was previously a lawsuit tied with that property, so I got to see all the stipulations and whatnot. But that shouldn't allow them to get out of having cleaned their property. So we could, I could look at that. I could speak to the chief about it.
And they're complaining about the truck stop too. I know we can't do nothing about that, because Taylor still owns that, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's all I really done.
Commissioner Boyd?
You also had down Paradise Motel, that's really disaster on that area. Yeah, all that area.
Well, yeah, well, first of all, I'll start with, the manager's, friend from the north side. He wants to know when you're gonna water your park. North side mayor, Nick Garcia wants to know. He calls me every week.
To my knowledge, we have been watering. We're obviously not watering as much. We're coming to the end of the season where things are starting to cool down, with the exception of this past week. It's been up in the upper 90s, in the 90s. But we do water it. We just try to do it within the means of our budget as well. We also have a budget for our own water usage throughout the city. But we will continue to do our best.
Okay, yeah, he is very concerned about it. It's a good resident. He really cares for everything with it, especially the park. He lives across the street. How's the audit coming along? Are we having an audit done now?
We are. We're in the middle of it. It's going well. We're actually going to have the auditors on site the week of October 19th, as well as the week of October 26th.
And on the Second Street project, how is that coming? How is it looking for completion over here on the
So
100 and 200 block?
we're still on schedule. There's always some hiccups throughout the project. Unfortunately, our soil it was barely meeting compaction. So we are going to have to invest some more money. We'll have a change order coming before you next meeting on the 22nd. We're gonna have to have additional base course up to 6 inches, as well as install some geogrid. It's just our soil here, we have that kind of soil here for backfill. Unfortunately, it is too fine, I guess at times, some more below too sandy. So you either have to treat it with lime. There's a few options, but we're gonna go with the geogrid. We're hoping that'll help increase the longevity of the road. Your surface, as I'm sure Commissioner Villanueva could attest to, it's only as good as your base underneath. If you don't have a good foundation, your road's gonna fail in the future. So it's worth the investment. We're just hashing out some numbers, and we actually have a conference call with the engineering company on Monday to discuss some options. So it's coming well. It's coming along well. And I imagine we should still finish in time. We're trying to get the paving done before it starts cooling down. You have to be at a certain temperature. So I'm hoping to have it wrapped up by the end of the calendar year, but time will tell based on finance and finance, weather, and making everything come together.
How's the business in that area being impacted?
Connie's actually done a great job. I haven't received too many phone calls. She's been awesome to work with, and she's been taking a lot of those concerns. There have been a few. There's some based on the sidewalk. There's been some based on parking spaces. There's been some concerns where electric lines have been cut. There's been some concerns, heavy equipment being on private property, but we've done our best to try to mitigate those issues. With any construction project, there's going to be some kind of issues, unfortunately. But the best thing I could try to keep telling those business owners is encourage them that when it's all done, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a fresh scenery. It's going to look good, and they'll have a nice street in front of their business for people to drive along. So I try to focus on the positive and the silver lining instead of too much on the negative.
On last commission meeting, I brought up a situation where we wanted, which I felt that we should look into, and that is trying to get a person that will be able to do some grant writing, to help us with some soft money that we are unable to budget out of our budget to do projects. For example, we have a lot of buildings and other things that have actually the city has gone after because of the nuisance ordinance, but we haven't been able to do much of it. We have lots that we cleaned once and now they're back to the way they are. But hopefully with a grant writer or something that the commission wishes to have a work session, I'd like to be able to suggest that, to see if we could see what the feeling the rest of the commission is. Not only for that, but for other things, because right now, we're very tight with our grant writers that we have. They're doing an excellent job and everything else, but we can neglect one area and we're gonna try and go on for some of the soft money, you know. So I don't know, I'd like to put that question to the commission if you'd like to have a work session.
So that you know, Commissioner Moya, I have looked into that. I've also talked to our finance director about that. I don't know if it's gonna be feasible based on our tight budget. You get what you pay for. To get somebody that has experience in grant writing, it could be quite costly. The other side of that is I feel that we have the staff which is capable of doing that. I think it's just in the past they were never advised to pursue other grants. It's typically been the same old grants we go after every year, the stuff from drinking water, the stuff from the states, stuff from tourism department. We need to look outside the box, and I think they just need to be encouraged to apply for those grants. A lot of those outside grants that you refer to, though, unfortunately, they are very competitive. A lot of those are at a national level, and it's hard. We won't obtain everything, but I'm hoping we will be able to obtain some additional grant funding. But I think we're more than capable of applying for those. They just need to be led in the right direction at community development.
About the same time, the staff that we have actually are doing an excellent job. I'm not saying anything against them, but a lot of those grants that we're getting right now are very necessity grants because they're for the infrastructure, they're for everything else. So really, we can't really pull them or deviate from that because right now the city budget is gone. But at the same time, if you look at a grant writer, when you write a grant and you're awarded a grant, sometimes in the grant you will see that for administrative costs is in there, they're written into the grant. So actually, in many ways, those grants will start to, again, help out with the person we hire. I think we have to look into something. It's really hard right now. The city, we can't move any direction because we're broke in many ways. We're not broke, but, you know, I mean, we can't do any extra projects. We already, you know, we're really frozen in many ways, but I don't know, that's up to the commission, they're the governing body, and I think a work session would be ideal, and I'd like to suggest that we would put it on for the next work session, and put it on, let the commission decide. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot, we have a huge city, geographically, it's very big, we have a huge amount to maintain, and right now, you're doing an excellent job, Mark, don't get me wrong. The bottom line is, a lot of areas are being deteriorating, and we can't do anything about it. So I'd like to be able to see if you could put it on the agenda for a work session next time.
We can, Angelica, we discussed potential future work session items. We may be booked up on the 22nd already, correct?
Right.
And then, so I know the first meeting in November, we've been neglecting it. I definitely want to discuss the policy on our cash reserve. That's something important. We have a budget coming up quickly. And I think that'd be fitting since we're talking about budget, maybe we could talk about a grant.
Right. Okay, so let's put it on the agenda for the first meeting in November. That's agreeable with everyone? Okay.
Well, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
So just real quick, in regards to scheduling that work session, on November 12th, you have an item that's gonna be quite lengthy. Do you wanna have that work session earlier?
Yeah, if the commission's willing to meet earlier, I'll be able to.
So the work session for October 22nd, we have, the Main Street item, the report, and then the discussion on the baseball and softball complex.
Correct.
On November 12th, you have discussion for the finance resolution regarding the reserves. That's the one that I think is gonna take a while.
Correct.
So do we need to start at 4:30?
I'd say
So we can get,
Maybe
4
even
o'clock?
4.
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
So November the 12th.
November 12th, yes.
Your
I have
turn.
a lot that I could say about that. I'll keep that stuff to myself. I always want to call it done part, but everybody else calls it other things. That was a mighty one.
Still working on it. That's, I reached out to our park superintendent and I guess the ball's gonna be in my court now. I was wanting to just get the lights that were there repaired, but he said based on the recommendation from Excel that I need to write into Excel, see if they'd install 4 new lights. I'd still, if it's possible, I'd still like to see those fixed, even though it's a Band-Aid effect, to have some kind of light now. But yeah, I need to write to Excel.
I agree with checking out on a grant writer. I think one of the avenues we can look at, and Commissioner Moy kind of hit on it, maybe not necessarily hire a new grant writer, but put out there looking for a grant writer. One, because a lot of grant writers that do the freelance, they do put their fee inside that grant. And it's listed, they can put it on their, so that's something we can always look at if, not necessarily having to hire somebody, but bring somebody in as a freelance. And, let them know what we want, see if they come up, if we get rewarded, they get rewarded, basically. So.
The only thing we have to be careful with, a lot of the grants do require a match, and it may look good because we get a grant, but we also got to figure out where we're going to match those funds.
Well, and that would also, just like any other grant, comes up in front of the commission on whether we want to go ahead and submit it or if we're going to accept it. So, but that's just an avenue when we do have a work session that we could possibly kind of toy around with. We've got a really good opportunity right now with the television. I've heard it for a long time now, how we need to get into TV and into the movies and, actually into the movies. I've never been in favor of going with the movies because they never mention Tucumcari. They always mention something else, which doesn't help us at all. And a lot of the movie people don't stay here long enough to contribute. However, I've always been in favor of the TV because it does mention us.
And I think that's the part that's important, is us getting notarized, noticed, not notarized, noticed. I want to commend, Connie Loveland for the work she's doing. She's got a great idea with this neon sign, which I've kind of got enlightened on the other day, and it excited me. Nobody says all the neon has to be on Route 66. I think having an outdoor neon museum that goes along 54, I think would be ideal, and it takes people directly to where, bring back our downtown area. Bands of Enchantment, I think, appreciate the work you've done and sticking with us, Mr. Chavez. I also want to commend, a lot of people don't realize, Mr. Patel, the work he's been trying to do. He's been working tirelessly to the point, as he's made a comment, he's pretty much burnt out right now on trying to acquire some billboards that are a little more effective. And I'm not going to get too much into it because that's a later meeting for us, but I think he appears to a lot of our meetings. He's also on our lodgers tax board. He's done a lot for the community as well, and he's been working tirelessly on these billboards, and I think he should be acknowledged. You know, I want to acknowledge him on that. Thank you for your work. Karen, thank you for, I think the welcome aboard is a nice little thing to consider. You know, she's got a good point with it. If we're gonna have, well, we are gonna have some type of shows here. We have a lot of people that are out there that just do everything they can to tear down what we're trying to build. And it gets aggravating. It makes me tired, and I know it makes all of y'all tired. Pardon the expression, but if those people keep their mouths shut long enough for us to bring up our town, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Artie.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Chavez, welcome home. You have a home.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for the work that you're doing and the opportunity of giving Tucumcari the chance to partner with you on this. Again, Connie, if you'll send our thanks to the Fast TV network crew, let them know, and thank you for cultivating that relationship. Those things are so important for our revitalization. So speaking of revitalization, we had a meeting with Connie and Ria Cerna earlier today, where we're discussing the MRA and the overlay district in a portion of the business district here in Tucumcari. I do also want to ask for a future work session to be with Ria, the commission, and the planning and zoning department, so the community development, with that staff. That way we can discuss ways that we can move forward with getting this overlay placed in and for the mixed use. I do believe that this is going to be something that could really benefit the city of Tucumcari if we can allow people to use their commercial and residential areas as such. So it'll be a good thing. I would just like that meeting. I know Ria has some restrictions, so if you can get with Connie and see when Ria will be available, if we can schedule it at that time. I'm sure it'll probably be later on in November. We do also, on our next meeting, we'll be presenting the JPA from the Ute Lake Water Commission. That's going to be coming in. We'll just need to vote on that and if approved with the mayor's signature, so we can enter that contract as well. Last month, the chairman, Richard Primrose, did meet with the ISC. There were some questions about why we're getting the water at the rate that we're getting it, but we're still not expecting any problems with that contract. We're still expecting that to go through as normal and continue at our normal rate for the Ute Lake water. Other than that, thank you, Commissioner, or Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis, for saying that, because there are so many positive things happening here in Tucumcari. And if we can open our hearts, like I said earlier this morning, to the great things that are going on, we can truly make a difference. It is going to take the community backing up the projects that have come forward tonight, the future projects that are coming. There was so much rally for the Racino. I would like to see that same kind of effort and enthusiasm for these current projects, because it's going to take that to show other investors that Tucumcari is a place to be. They're going to embrace it, they're going to love it, and they're going to make it work. And I know we can do that. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you, and thank you, everybody said it, but thank you, Mr. Patel and Connie and Mr. Chavez. I know we're sound like we're repeating ourselves, but you don't know how much the commission does appreciate all your hard work that you're doing for us. We do appreciate you very much. Also too, Karen, I'd like to ask you what about our streaming?
Yes, oh gosh, yes. FM 92.7, we're gonna be streaming. We've got it online today, but we've got still some more fuzzy bugs to work out. But hopefully by tomorrow, we're gonna be nationwide, worldwide. So when we do our city commission meetings, Mr. Moya has to be on his best behavior.
And I'm excited because.
I'm just excited, yeah.
I'm excited about it because, you
It's
know,
wonderful. I'm looking for sponsors for the AM station, but right now we got the FM station going, so I think it's just another step forward
cool.
because we are your community radio station, I feel like, so.
Well, we appreciate everything you do for us too.
Well, thank you.
You're always very positive, and I'm excited because, like I say, my daughter's always wondering what goes on.
Yes, people can miss
Commission
your
meeting, and
family.
she can stream it now.
Well, and you can watch it on YouTube. Even if you miss it, you could go back and watch it. It's always archived. So
Okay,
just search for, you could Google City of Tucumcari YouTube and it'll come up.
cool.
When she speaks in the morning though, when you speak in the morning though, your relatives from wherever can hear.
Right. All right. What about, on the potholes, what about the one on Park Street by the TP?
I'll need to look into it as of, Saturday when we're there photographing things. It was not done yet. Again, it's in the queue. The best thing I could probably do is probably bump it up. I could try to get it bumped up and prioritize it.
Did you see how, I mean,
I fell in.
Yeah.
Can you just put dirt on it or something, so somebody won't get?
it's gotta be.
We could. I'd like to try to put some millings or at least cold mix or do it kind of right. Honestly, that road is so bad. We're probably gonna have to reclaim it and maybe just blade it. I will bump that up. I'll speak to,
A dirt road in the middle of town, that's okay.
Right.
not dirt, at least if it's
My house is a dirt road for years.
millings, it'll compact a little bit better and honestly it wouldn't be as bad.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Also, I appreciate everything you've done, Mark. I know you're working hard, spreading yourself pretty thin, and we all appreciate that very much. Rochelle, we know you're working hard with the audit and everything, and Helica keeps us on our toes. So we do appreciate all of our people that working here in the city. You're doing a fine job. And thank you again for coming. Chief, appreciate you being here tonight. Anyway, so with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Do I have a second?
So second.
Roll call.
Mayor Litchfield? And yes, Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Commissioner Moya? Commissioner Guerrero?
Yes.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Okay, recorders are on. Off, sorry.